Football rivals may not have a lot of common ground, but if there is one thing all athletes can see, it's hard work. Every athlete knows the dedication and hard work required to get to the top, and anyone who is that dedicated deserves respect. But football players are also known to sometimes lose their cool, and when that happens, respect goes out the window. These are the 20 times players really let their opponents have it. Starting off with one of the most amazing nights in Europe, Liverpool, after trailing 3-0 to Barcelona after the first leg, came back to win 4-0 at Anfield and advanced to the final. Liverpool played flawlessly that night, apart from one thing. No matter the situation, a player like Messi deserves respect. So, when Robertson shoved his head downwards like this, the whole world reacted. Don't get me wrong, being a great player may mean you deserve respect, but it also must be reciprocated. No matter how good you are or how many bucks you get paid, you can't go around slapping people because you didn't like what they said. Especially if you're someone like Neymar, because the guy already gets fouled all the time. What if defenders start taking revenge for this slap at the end of the game against Marseille? And if slapping wasn't enough, he is sometimes a bit too cocky with his skills. Showing off skill moves is good and all, but sometimes Neymar can get a bit too carried away. Defenders don't exactly enjoy a show-off, and if they can't get close to the ball, they can always get close to the player and put in a crippling challenge. And that wasn't even a proper slap. What happened when Real Madrid played Bayern in 2014 was really out of control. Madrid won the tie 5-0 on aggregate, but all the headlines were about what Ribéry did. Carvajal was in a heated moment with Boateng, and Ribéry just walked up and slapped him across the face. Ribéry was probably struggling to get past the right back and was extremely frustrated, but that's no way to behave in front of millions of viewers. But it wasn't as bad as when Simeone did this. Atletico Madrid manager Diego Simeone isn't known for keeping his emotions in check. After a crucial goal against Juventus in the Champions League, Simeone celebrated by grabbing his crotch in front of the fans. Was it meant to disrespect Juve? The world may never know. Juve did though and hit Simeone with a fine for improper conduct. But as gestures go, that was nothing compared to what Jamie Carragher did towards United fans. Last season, Liverpool didn't exactly have a good season, but somehow Manchester United's was even worse. They may have finished above Liverpool in the league, but their trip to Anfield gave the bragging rights straight to Liverpool fans. Liverpool won 7-0 and everyone joined in laughing at Manchester United. Even Jamie Carragher, who was supposed to be a neutral commentator. Liverpool fans enjoyed that, but either way, this isn't the most disrespectful thing Suarez has done. Turns out, players need to be more careful around this guy than they thought. Chiellini wasn't and got bit. Literally. In a game between Uruguay and Italy, Suarez saw his chance and actually went to bite Chiellini on the shoulder. What was he even thinking? He's not the only one who likes to bite either. Rudiger saw Suarez and got a bit too inspired. He went out and bit the first person he saw, or at least tried to bite him. We knew Suarez was crazy, but Rudiger too? That's it. The zombie apocalypse has begun. But that moment wasn't as confusing as when Mario Balotelli did this. Balotelli wasn't exactly known for being disciplined, but his back heel attempt was a bit too much. The whole team worked so hard to get the ball to the striker and give him a chance to shoot, and in return, Balotelli went for a casual back heel. It's almost like he did that on purpose. The guy wasted the entire team's efforts and disrespected everyone on the pitch in 1 second. But it would be more disrespectful if you guys don't like this video and subscribe right now. Done? Okay, alright, let's move on. But at least, he only disrespected his own team because that time Ronaldo lost his temper, he offended the entire opponent's squad. Liverpool ran riot against Manchester United while Ronaldo was there, and this one time, he let his frustration get the better of him and kicked Curtis Jones while he was down. He's lucky he wasn't sent off for that. I'll tell you who did get sent off though. Zinedine Zidane's headbutt is probably the most famous red card in football history. When he did it, the whole world thought the mighty Zizou had finally lost his temper. But did you know the real story behind that incident? Friendly things about Zidane's sister. He deserved way more than just a headbutt for disrespecting him like that. But not more than this guy who riled Arsenal fans up on purpose. Emmanuel Adebayor was once an Arsenal player, but he forgot all about it when he scored for City against them and ran the whole way across the pitch to celebrate in front of the Gunner fans. He almost caused a riot there, but Arsenal fans didn't hate it as much as this. Arsenal is probably used to seeing ex-players celebrate against them because Van Persie did the same thing when he scored for Manchester United. They should probably start adding a no celebration clause in their players' contracts because this is embarrassing. Van Persie is supposed to be an Arsenal legend, but probably not so much after this. But hey, that's not as embarrassing as having your own player disrespect the club as Gareth Bale did. Spanish fans are probably the worst fans out there, but they don't deserve this. Real Madrid is supposed to be the best club in the world, but Gareth Bale doesn't feel like that. He probably received quite a bit of criticism during his time in Madrid, which meant his priorities weren't quite what you would think. Wales, golf, Madrid, in that order, it's a miracle he stayed at Los Blancos for so long. That's embarrassing, but not as embarrassing as what happened to Jordan Pickford. The Merseyside derby is probably the most heated rivalry in English football. And Everton's Jordan Pickford decided to rile the Anfield fans up by falling on the ball every time he got it in his hands. The score was 0-0 at that point, so wasting time didn't really make sense either. It didn't make sense when Ellison blatantly copied him, though. That was so funny, the stadium celebrated that like a goal. But it wasn't as disrespectful as when Eric Cantona lost his cool at Crystal Palace. He just got sent off for a terrible challenge, and if that wasn't enough, he went and drop-kicked a fan because he didn't like what he said. Just play football like you're supposed to, jeez. There's no room for personal feuds in football. Even Luis Suarez knows that after what happened against Manchester United. There is a reason everyone shakes hands before the start of a game, but Suarez decided to ignore Eva for some reason. It's fair to say he didn't get the best treatment on the pitch afterward, because once defenders have their eye on you, you're better off without the ball. These last two, though, are way up there in terms of disrespect. No matter how much you might hate the guy, their partners are off limits. Someone needs to tell that to John Terry, because even though he's a Chelsea legend, what he did to Wayne Bridge is not acceptable at all. He had a secret affair with his old friend's partner. How disrespectful is that? But that's not even the biggest scandal in football. The biggest story was when Kevin De Bruyne's partner chose Thibaut Courtois over him. Kevin's such a nice guy too. Why would his international teammate do this? People don't let him talk, Pep doesn't let him play, and he can't even keep the love of his life? No wonder he started crying when he scored against Courtois in the Champions League. And what a goal that was too! He definitely put some anger behind that shot.